Hi, I thought this week it would be fun to learn about some of the different animals that live in the forest. The forests of Oregon have many different animals, and we're just going to learn about a few this week. And we're going to start today with bears. Now, this is a polar bear, and bears do not live in Oregon. There are several different kinds of bears, and this book talks about a lot of different types of bears. And when we get there, I'll tell you the kind that live in Oregon. That word right there says bears. Bears are big, furry animals. They have large, round heads with small eyes and ears. These are brown bears. Baby bears are called cubs. They are born in winter in small caves or hollow trees. Cubs get food by drinking their mother's rich milk. Mother bears comfort their cubs when they are afraid. Mother bears lick their cubs to keep them clean. Cubs spend most of the time in their den sleeping and drinking milk. Polar bear cubs are born in winter too. Female polar bears dig dens in the snow. They crawl inside to rest and get ready to have their cubs. Their cubs are born inside the snow den. So here she is digging a den, and she goes inside. Looks like she's got an air hole. And she goes inside there, and then she has her babies while she's inside that snow cave. Snow dens are very warm inside, so polar bear cubs take a while to get used to the cold outside. In the spring, cubs leave the den with their mother. Cubs spend a lot of time exploring, but they stay close to their mother. Mother bears usually have 1 or 2 cubs at a time, but sometimes they have 3. Bears travel a long way to look for food. Sometimes a cub becomes tired and can't keep up. The mother bear carries the tired cub in her mouth, kind of like a mama cat or a mama dog carries their babies. All bears are covered in thick fur. Polar bears live in icy places. Their fur is extra thick to keep them warm. Spectacled bears have white fur around their eyes, which look like a pair of glasses. Sloth bears have long, shaggy fur. Their cubs travel on their mother's back. The cubs grab a chunk of her fur with their front paws, and they scramble up and hold on tight. Then she stands up. So there they are climbing on, and she stands up and they hang on. That actually looks kind of fun, don't you think? Bears' hands and feet are called paws. On each paw there are 5 long claws. Bears turn over rocks with their paws to look for insects to eat. Brown bears use their claws to dig up roots to eat. Polar bears' paws have grips so they don't slip on the ice. Pandas have an extra bone in each paw. They use it to grip bamboo plants to eat. So there's a big polar bear paw. You can see those big long claws. And on this bear, you can see its long claws too. Those are pretty serious claws, aren't they? Most bears eat many different kinds of food, such as plants, fruit, nuts, and insects. Brown bears live on grasslands where there are lots of green plants to eat. A sun bear knocks a bee's nest out of a tree with its paws. It uses its long claws to break into the bee's nest. Then it licks up the honey inside with its long tongue. Bears often have bad teeth because they eat honey and other sweet foods. Kind of like Winnie the Pooh, huh? There he is tearing apart the bee hive to get honey. Bears that eat meat have to catch their prey. Brown bears pounce on small animals such as squirrels and mice. They will even jump into water to hunt for food. Polar bears hunt for seal pups, which live in tunnels under the ice. They thump the ice with their front paws to break into a tunnel. Polar bears catch adult seals too. A polar bear waits by a hole in the ice. A seal swims up to the hole for air, and the bear drags the seal out of the water. So there he is, waiting and then grabbing that seal and pulling him out. Bears that live near rivers go fishing. They catch and eat huge salmon. Brown bears stand at the top of waterfalls waiting for fish to jump up. As the fish jump, the bears try to catch one in their mouths. I've seen videos of this. It's pretty cool to watch. See that guy is trying to catch a salmon as it's jumping up the waterfall? When a bear catches a fish, it carries it to the riverbank to eat. Brown bears usually catch about 15 salmon a day, and salmon are pretty big fish. That's a lot of fish. Bears often live in forests, and most bears can climb trees. A cub digs its claws into a tree trunk. It grips the trunk with its back paws, and it pulls itself up with its front paws. Bears often sleep in trees. They feel safe high up in the air. Cubs climb trees when they are afraid. So there's a little cub climbing up the tree, and there's the other cubs trying to get safe up in the tree. Bears can stand on their two back legs. They use their front paws to balance. Some bears stand up to eat fruit from high tree branches. Bears often stand up to look around when they hear a noise. Polar bears stand up to wrestle, but they are only playing. There they are standing up. Bears also stand up to rub their backs on trees so they can shake off loose fur. Bears sniff trees to tell if other bears have rubbed there too. It's kind of like taking my dog for a walk. He's always sniffing to see what other dogs have been there. Bears apparently sniff to see which other bears have been scratching their backs on the trees. Polar bears are very good swimmers. They can swim for hours without stopping. They can jump into water. A polar bear climbs out of the water onto the ice. It shakes itself like a wet dog to dry off. Then it rolls on snow to soak up the rest of the water. Polar bears paddle with their front paws and steer with their back paws. Bears live in many different places. Some live in hot forests and others live high up in cold mountains. Some brown bears live near the sea. They use their long claws to dig for shellfish to eat on beaches. Spectacled bears live in rainforests. In the daytime, it's very hot, so the bears just sleep. At night, when it's cooler, they wake up and search for food. Yeah, down here it says, in hot summers, black bears dive into lakes to cool off. And it's black bears that live in Oregon. And an interesting thing is they're called black bears, but not all black bears are actually black. Some of them are black and some of them are more brown, but they're still called black bears. Cubs are very playful, but adult bears play too. Pandas swing on tree branches. They sometimes hang upside down from trees. Pandas climb up steep slopes. They roll down to the bottom. Then they climb back up again. Bears often lie on their backs to play with sticks and stones. So there's the panda climbing up and rolling down and climbing up just for the fun. And that, to me, I think that's a black bear. That looks to me like a black bear, and that would be the kind of bear we have in Oregon. I hope you learned some things about bears, and I put up another video for you to watch about bears too, and it's about black bears, and those are the kinds we have in the forests in Oregon.